And welcome to the Feminine Funnel Formula Day 2. We are here live from the Rich Queen Casita. I'm so excited to see so many of you here live again. If you're here and you were here for day 1, let me know in the chat what you're excited about for day 2. And if you're here and you missed day 1 and you're joining us live for day 2, make sure to tell myself and Team Rich Queen where you're joining us from and whether or not you are brand new to my world or somebody that already knew about me. Let me know how you found me. I am so excited to see over 1,000 of you are pretty brand new to the Rich Queen world and new to me. And I am so excited to be sharing all of this incredible funnel genius with each of you. Now, we want to get stuck straight into today's presentation because what I'm going to take you through first and foremost is a lightning round answering some of the biggest questions that came up from the day 1 of this incredible workshop. And actually, last night, as I was prepping for day 2, based on all of the incredible questions that you had, I decided to change some of today's workshop to dig deeper into the biggest question of them all, which is always the same when it comes to the work that I do with women: the pull-push messaging, and really making sure you understand how to speak to those million-dollar clients so that you can fill your world with only the people that are ready to move. And we're going to be focusing a lot on that today and the different niche examples that you requested. But let's start with the Q&A from yesterday. Now, as you go through today's workshop, I want you to ask your questions in the chat, even though I'm not going to be actively looking at it so that we can stay on time and focused. My team are there to support you and answer all of your questions. And we will be collating questions to make sure that we cover them either at the end of today if we need to, or in the coming days. So based on yesterday, one of the biggest questions that came through: can I build a funnel without a team? I know so many of you here are solopreneurs, and some of you already have team members. Now, you don't need a team to build a funnel, but you do need to be able to execute the system. So, my team, what they are responsible for is building the things that I have already created. So when I write the email sequence, I hand it to June, my OBM, to then upload in Kajabi. Kate, who is my incredible unicorn support coach, has worked for me for years, and she understands my brand and helps me to build the sales pages. My team, whether it be Nicole and my ads or Alejandra, I have the best team of women in my corner supporting me, but I didn't always have the incredible team members that I have now. It really started as just me, and then just me and Kate. Now, what you need to know is, what are the things that slow you down in terms of the execution? So rather than hiring an overpriced, like $5,000 copywriter, you would be much better to actually write the copy yourself and then hire someone that can help you execute the actual implementation in your system. My biggest advice is to pick a platform. Many of you asked. I use Kajabi, but it's honestly personal preference. I have clients that use every platform there is out there. It really is about picking a platform that makes it easy for you to execute, which is the biggest reason that I use Kajabi. Now, Leanne AI, if those of you don't know, I built a proprietary AI framework and intellectual property, all of my intellectual property, from the messaging that I teach to the funnels that we create, is inside and programmed into Leanne AI. And when I launched her at the start of this year, there was a reason that we had over 1,000 women join. And it's because she is about speed, because she understands the pull and push messaging, because she's trained with only my frameworks, unlike ChatGPT, which is pulling from everybody's crappy messaging. She has cut down my funnel time by over 75%. And the same thing for my clients. And those of you that use her that are here live in the chat, I'm sure you will share how much faster you are able to execute using Leanne AI than you were before. And in fact, many of my clients actually were able to let go of really high expenses in their business where they were paying people to write copy or to manage their social media, they're now able to actually do it themselves and experience higher conversion in less time of their week. Some of you asked, what if I don't want to do content or social media? What if I don't actually have anything pre-recorded? And what if I don't want to actually pre-record anything? What if my love language is delivering live and is serving my clients live? You can absolutely build a funnel without Instagram, without social media. However, you do need trust stacking assets throughout your freedom funnel. But this can be podcast episodes, audio clips, your face on camera doing mini trainings. You need to ensure that people are experiencing you, your $1 million client is experiencing you in micro trust building assets. You're likely doing them now in some way, shape, or form, whether it be a blog on your website, whether it be that you're recording a podcast. You'll likely have alternative channels that are going to amplify how quickly you build trust and how quickly you convert your $1 million client into your audience and into your offers. So you don't have to have social media. That being said, think about the way you see me doing social media alongside my funnels. Remember, social media for me is an amplifier of my sales system. It's not my core sales system. But I would be lying if I told you that they both don't work together. They row the boat in the same direction faster. So there is an amplification effect when you are doing social media and reflecting this also behind the scenes in your invisible sales system. But you can replace social media, Instagram, with a YouTube channel, with a podcast, with a high performing blog. It doesn't have to be the apples to apples comparison. Now, the coolest thing about the way that I teach funnels and the messaging inside is that you can actually repurpose that messaging from a post, becomes an email, becomes part of the sales page. So, quite honestly, when you actually look at the ecosystem that the Freedom Funnel is, you're then able to post and show up more visibly, whether it be paid traffic or organic, and we're going to come on to that today, and still be seen far more and be nurturing more with your invisible and your visible. So, funnels obviously work best when there's something that makes people feel connected to you. And that's why paid traffic can be so powerful, because unlike social media, many of you have the objection of, I have a really small following on social media. So I feel like I don't have the same authority as somebody that has 20,000 followers or 30,000 followers. Tell me in the chat if you resonate with that, that you feel like behind the scenes, you know, your authority is so strong. But when it comes to your public facing channels like Instagram, it can feel like pushing water up a hill just to try and be visible. You feel like you're having to compete with everybody else. And it feels like the more I show up, the more maybe I might be seen. But there's probably many of you that also feel like I do already show up really consistently and what I would consider to be a lot. And I still feel like no one is seeing my content, and at least not my $1 million buyers. And why would they buy from me when they can buy from her and she's already got 50,000 followers? The coolest thing about paid traffic is that you remove any buying bias. You create instant authority because someone sees that you have a paid ad. Immediately, there is a credibility and an assumption of authority when they see something that's cold traffic paid ad. It's kind of like being a best-selling author or even being an author. The minute you tell someone you wrote a book, there is a psychological decision that you must be an authority. It's the same thing with paid traffic. So hundreds of people buy through my freedom funnels every single month without ever following me on social media. So you don't actually need social media. But for those of you that didn't follow me on social media, or maybe you don't follow me on social media now, I want you to think about what made you buy from me. What other trust building assets did you experience that amplified when you started to consume me? Was it my website? Was it my podcast? What other areas did build trust if it was not my social media? So it's a great question. Now, the second piece of this around what if I don't run over, what if I don't have any pre recorded offers? What if I don't want to record anything? That's okay. You don't have to. So the majority of my freedom funnels were actually built through delivering the program, selling and then delivering the program. My suggestion to you would be, is there a way of us taking your top performing offers, even if right now it's group coaching or one-on-one coaching, and extracting it, and maybe the next time you deliver it, or even this time when you launch it or you sell it or you promote it, there is an element of you recording the content in a way that could become evergreen. So even if you don't have any pre-recorded content right now, there are actually very easy ways. Think about this offer. You purchased this offer and you didn't get access to anything. So you can absolutely put into a funnel that which has not happened yet. The biggest thing around that is ensuring that it is something that you know there is demand for and that has a similar texture to something you've sold previously that did really well. And there's a lot that you can do around that. Now, this again piggybacks on the previous question. What if I have no audience? The biggest thing that you need to know, the two questions that you need to be able to answer: do you know who you want to serve, your $1 million client? Who is it that you want to help? And do you have something to offer them that there is known demand for? So even if you yourself have not had demand, you're earlier on in your business, can you see in the marketplace that there is demand through competition? Competition is an amazing thing because it shows you that there is demand for what it is that you're selling. So as long as you have an offer, even if right now that is you coaching people, your support, even if that is you trading time for money, even if it's not currently passive, that's okay. You just need to know that there is demand there. And the most important question: does your work solve a high value problem for someone? Now, remember, $1 million clients will pay you 10 times more to solve their highest value problems than they will to create a solution, a result. And we're going to dig more into that today as we cover off the pull and pull messaging. So you don't need 10,000 followers. I've already told you there are paid traffic opportunities where you can have no followers and people will still see you as an authority. And no, you don't have to spend $20,000 a month on ads in order to create that, or even hire an overpriced ads agency. It's actually much more simple than you think to create paid traffic results. Unlike traditional funnels, and this is what we're going to cover today, freedom funnels rely on less being more. This is what we as women do a fucking phenomenal job of. Less is more. Less but better. These funnels are not based on the volume model. They're based on attracting the right humans and converting more of them more quickly. So once you know who the right people are for your offer and you focus on messaging to solving their right high value problems, it doesn't matter if you don't currently have an audience of those people. I can show you, and Team Rich Queen can show you how to fill your audience with those people. How much time does it take to build a funnel? How long is a piece of string? Now, for some people, it takes longer than others, right? For those of you that have a team, it's quite clearly going to be faster than for those of you that are doing this on your own. But generally speaking, I would tell you from top to bottom, it takes 15 to 25 very laser focused hours to build your freedom funnel. This is everything: copy, the strategy, the creative, the automations, top to bottom. Now, bear in mind, depending on how good you are with tech, if you're soloing it, it might take you longer than that. This is where I would really suggest looking at who you could hire, even from a low cost time per hour perspective, that could execute more of the back end pieces of your funnel so that you can focus on the heavy lifting of the messaging and the offers themselves. Now, it goes without saying, and there's a reason why Leanne AI comes for 3 months with my signature programs. It's because she moves you faster. So I use Leanne AI on every single funnel I build, including this one. This entire 2-day workshop was written with Leanne AI. The entire messaging and copy behind the promotion, whether it be the ads, the organic content, the emails, the sales page copy, was written in collaboration. Notice how I say in collaboration with Leanne AI. So you're not starting from scratch ever, because she's programmed and designed to help you build your freedom funnel. She's programmed and designed with all of the pull and push messaging that I teach. That's what the intellectual property is built from inside. And that's why so many women have been able to finally build the funnels that they've been thinking about building in record time, and have cut their working time in half, whether they be very established people in the industry or whether they be brand new to their industry. Some of my highest performing funnels are over a year old with quarterly tweaks. So, of course, I go in and tweak the email sequences. Of course, I review them quarterly. But for the most part, my top performing funnels, especially in the middle and the bottom, are at least over a year old. And I'm going to show you a breakdown of one today to show you how this works. Now, some of you ask, can this work for a physical product? Very quickly and easily, it absolutely can. However, there are nuances with physical product versus digital products. So, what I would say is my specialty and my zone of genius is absolutely digital coaching and online education. And if you're product based, we have many product based entrepreneurs inside Leanne AI. But I'll be honest and tell you that Freedom Funnels itself is designed for those with digital assets. And so, if you are a product based business, it might be that components of these freedom funnels really work for you, but there's some creativity involved when it comes to how you stack money pathways, because physical product isn't the same, and how we consume it and when we need to rebuy something, or when what we then decide to buy next, there are nuances. Do I need to send emails? A few of you asked this, like, I hate sending emails. Do I need to send emails? My answer to you would be only if you want to make money in your sleep. Do you want to make money in your sleep? Because email is one of the highest converting sales channels when you know how to use it properly. And I really, truly believe, as someone that used to loathe writing emails, sales pages, I hated anything that had to do with funnel. If it was in a funnel, I didn't want to do it. Social media felt so easy to me. How many of you can relate to that? For how many of you here find really social media stories are really easy? Content you find relatively easy. You might be frustrated that you're not getting it in front of more people, but how easy do you find content creation, or what are the easy parts of your business? My question to you would be, if I were to show you exactly how to write an email sequence or a sales page, for example, that would definitely convert your audience when you sent it, would you still not want to send emails? Would you still not feel excited about writing emails? No one's excited about funnels until you're making money while you're at Pilates, or while you're asleep, or while you're spending time with your kids, and then they get pretty sexy. So if you're currently resisting any of the parts of a funnel, whether that be sales pages or emails, it's likely just because you haven't been given the ones that actually convert your audience. And so it feels like a waste of your time. A big question, and a great question: is there a specific funnel that I should start with? This is going to depend mainly on where you are currently at in your business. But the truth is, you actually only need 2 core freedom funnels in order to scale beyond 6 or 7 figures. So you need a $1 million client generator funnel. What I mean by that is, what is the thing that you are going to use to generate and attract your $1 million client? So something at the top of funnel. Now, the reason why I said it depends on where you're at in business is because for those of you that are further ahead in business, like me, when I started my freedom funnels, I started with something paid because I was already attracting, I already had an audience to sell to. And it was actually about wanting to convert more of my current audience, not just about bringing new people in. That being said, one of the biggest reasons that businesses fail is because they focus on serving their current audience and current clients and selling to those people, and they stop filling their top of funnel with new people. So regardless of where you are in business, having a $1 million client generator funnel, i.e. an ideal client magnet funnel, and we're going to talk about that, is essential when it comes to filling your pipeline of incredible rich buyers, some of whom are going to convert day one, and others of whom are going to convert day 30, day 60, day 90. And this is where sales stacking comes in. The second absolute essential offer for you is your signature offer funnel. And here's why. This is going to create the sales ecosystem that enrolls and attracts and converts your dream clients without you needing to launch. If you don't currently have a signature offer, it's likely that you are not known as an authority for anything. The fastest way of building authority is to focus on becoming known. Becoming known for the thing that you are exceptional at. Your first signature offer should be the thing that you are so known for. And this is how, when you build your messaging around that and you build your funnel around that, you will create such a quicker authority leap. You will build trust faster, and you will also grow your audience faster. Because for those of you trying to be everything to everyone, it's likely that you're diluting your own authority. And I don't say this from my ivory tower. This was me. This was very, very much me for quite a while in my business. And the irony being, I didn't even realize that messaging was my core genius because I was so close to it. Because it was the thing that I found easiest. It was the thing that also moved the needle the fastest for my clients. I want you to share in the comments right now, what is the number one thing that you do with your clients that moves the needle the fastest for them when it comes to getting results from your work, and that you find the easiest? The thing that feels effortless for you and so obvious to you is often the thing that also creates the biggest result for your people. And you're just too close to it to realize that that is the thing that you should become an authority, should be known for. That is the thing that should underpin everything else that you do. Freedom funnels are something that I have become so well known for, but it's because they're underpinned by messaging. You're going to see today that the reason that my funnels convert so highly and the reason why the women that come into my work experience such a significant shift in sales, whether it be in their organic content or their funnels, is actually because the messaging shifts within them. That is what actually converts people. But these are your baseline 2 funnels. And actually, you don't need a lot of funnels in order to create millions of dollars. And this is the most exciting part. So just as a quick reminder, today is the final day to save $400 on the Soft Girl Sales Sprint that we're doing next week. So the team are going to drop the link in the chat for anyone that's interested in joining. I am going to be doing more Q&As next week on all things Soft Girl sales strategies. So if you have more questions and you want to know how these sales strategies work and how I implement them day to day in my business in order to create behind the scenes sales and public facing sales, to make social media and showing up easy, it's going to be a really great no-brainer way for you to come in and see this system in action. But let's talk now a little bit more about why freedom funnels convert at such a faster speed than traditional funnels. So traditional funnels, and remember, a funnel looks like this, right? It's wider at the top and more narrow at the bottom. Traditional funnels that were traditionally taught in the online coaching space that worked really well for a period of time in our industry because they were very much anchored and rooted in the live launch model that people used for, 2018 to really 2020, 2021, 2022 even. That live launching model, which is really what the funnel was built upon, they worked well for people. But now, even those people that were making millions of dollars from their launches are experiencing a significant drop in their conversion rates from things that used to work really well. How many of you here are using sales systems now that previously worked really well for you and suddenly feel like they're not converting quite as quickly? And maybe it's not a live launch. Maybe it's not a live launch for you, but maybe there was a particular modality that you were using prior to this year that converted people what seemed like really easily. And suddenly in 2025, it feels that much harder to convert your audience. You're not crazy and you're not on your own. There is absolutely a sales contraction happening for many, many people in this space. Rich Queen is growing. The companies that are growing, this is a huge, huge season of opportunity for you. If you're in this workshop, you already have an advantage on everybody else in your niche. The reason being that if you understand the buying psychology and the buying behavior and what actually makes rich buyers buy in 2025, which is not what you were previously taught, you are going to be able to make such subtle shifts to your messaging, even from what you're learning today and how you sell, in order to get in front of more of those $1 million clients and convert them. And you won't experience a contraction. If your system is not working as well as it used to, it's time to change the system. Do not make the age-old mistake of just doing the same thing and thinking there is going to be a different outcome. Every time you notice a trend, it's important to pay attention and to get curious as to why is that not working anymore. And 9 times out of 10, the reason why the sales strategies that worked previously don't work in 2025 is because it's a different market now. The wide net approach that was previously taught by marketers around volume, just get all of the people and build a buyer journey in your funnel around your top of funnel people or beginner people in their journey. They're at point A. And then your middle of funnel people in the middle of their journey are in the middle of your funnel. So now you've got offers in your offer suite designed for people at completely different stages of business or of their journey and whatever you sold for them, in their wellness journey, in their relationships. Tell me in the chat, where in your offer suite are all of your offers right now, are they for the same person regardless? Are they for the same $1 million client? Your low ticket taster offers, your low ticket offers, your free offers, signature offers, your masterminds, your one-on-one, are they made and designed for people at different places in their offer, in their journey? Are your top of funnel offers made for beginner buyers? Because if they are, it's a big part of the reason why you're not experiencing higher levels of conversion. And it's also a big reason that you're actually repelling the $1 million clients that you actually want to work with. Because it's likely that the majority of your marketing efforts, what you're putting out onto social media, what you're emailing out to your list, is designed for the people at your top of funnel. And if they are people that are much earlier on, they have a completely different set of problems than people that are more advanced. And the work that your $1 million clients do with you in your high level containers, they would never join your earlier spaces. And because you were told in the online space that self-led women and high level buyers only buy your most expensive thing and pay in full, that's not true. You're actually missing out on like 70%. Around 90% of my clients that have worked with me in my highest touch spaces came from a low ticket offer. And they told me the reason they hired me was because of a workshop like this, because of an instant access offer that they purchased. It was a trust building offer. They got a taste of my work and instantly knew I was for them. Social media is not enough anymore to do that heavy lifting. And you can, of course, still convert people that have never purchased from you before straight into a high ticket space. But if you're only marketing to those people and you're not actually giving them the opportunity to taste your work in a small sample size, they're likely not going to convert into your other spaces because you're not demand stacking. So traditional funnels were about cast a wide net, build for a beginner audience, nurture people forever, but really focus on push marketing that pushes them into your offers using hype, bro marketing strategies, fake urgency, all the things. And of course, they performed really well for the live launch model that people used for a long time in this industry. But it ultimately fills your funnel with the wrong people who take 10 times longer to convert. So this is what I mean by the traditional funnel. This is where they teach you the buyer journey. Design your funnel around new beginner buyers at the top, lead magnets. Even the expression lead magnet should raise red flags for you. Do you want to attract leads or do you want to attract qualified buyers? Low ticket offers, make them for beginner people. Make sure they're just the what and not the how. Make sure you keep all the value in your higher ticket spaces. If you have crappy, empty, no depth, top of funnel offers, you will lose trust. You will not gain any trust. You will lose trust. Creating high converting top of funnel offers. There are ideal client magnets and low ticket tasters that convert $1 million buyers into the rest of your spaces is an art form. Because you have to know exactly how to reverse engineer your top of funnel based on the middle and bottom of your funnel. But when you are doing the traditional sense here, notice how the buyer journey was this. The buyer journey was all around you come in at the top and then you convert into the next. And generally speaking, the next offer in the journey that you're promoting is everything and the kitchen sink. Your offers aren't signature. They're just like everything to everyone. Then maybe you have masterminds or an all access pass. There's actually nothing valuable about an all access pass until you know how to position it as valuable. It's only valuable if everything in that all access pass is actually what your $1 million client wants. Most people position the value of an all access pass around the all access pass. That's actually not what's valuable about it. Now, at the bottom of funnel, then you have those high ticket one-to-one mastermind style offers. But notice how everything is about that wide net at the top, volume based, just get a bunch of people in and then try and convert 10% of them. Why is that the goal? Generally, what happens is 10% is the goal and people convert 1%. But they're designed for beginner buyers and they use result-driven messaging like how to make more money in your business, how to lose 20 pounds in 90 days, how to attract your soulmate. And that actually attracts broke buyers. We're going to come on to that. Now, feminine freedom funnels, they are built upon the $1 million buyer model. So we don't care about volume. I don't care about leads. In fact, my team will tell you, I am a savage when it comes to deleting people off my email list. Like if you come into my world and you do not engage with my emails, you don't open my emails, you don't buy from me within 90 days, I will send you a sequence to re-engage you. And if you don't re-engage, we delete you. I don't want people on my email list that don't want to hear from me. I don't want people on my email list that don't want to buy from me. I'm a business. You are a business. You don't need more people, you need better people. So this is where we focus that top of funnel on ideal client magnets. Your free thing is not a lead magnet, it's an ideal client magnet. So you're only going to design it for your ideal dreamy $1 million client. Then low ticket taster offers, not just a low ticket offer, a low ticket taste of your signature low and mid, your signature offers of your other spaces. If I showed up in this workshop and did something completely different to how I teach inside my other spaces, if I told you things about funnels that had nothing to do with what I actually taught about them, if I created a low ticket offer that didn't at all give you a little taste of what it's like to work with me and experience my work, how does it actually help to convert you or build trust around bringing you into that offer? Now, this is a really good time to tell you that one of the best ways of creating a low ticket taster offer and considering the delivery of that is to consider the delivery of the offer that you desire to bring your $1 million client into thereafter. Now, notice on the left all those crazy ADHD arrows. They're there for a reason. And the reason is to show you that unlike that traditional funnel where it's that ascension model, bing, 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 go here, then you buy this, then you buy this, then you buy this. The freedom funnel is an ecosystem. You can come in when you design every offer in your offer suite for $1 million clients only, they can come in at any point of your funnel and buy from you and then buy everything at every other point. This is actually a spider's web, an ecosystem, not just a come in here, then buy this, then buy this, then buy this. Now, right now, whatever you have in the middle and the bottom of your funnel isn't really relevant. But what we want to have is different trust building offers at different trust building price points that also reflect your desire for scalability. There is no perfect price point in a funnel. There is no perfect go from this to this. It actually is very, very specific to your $1 million buyer's logic. So freedom funnels are based on low volume, $1 million client only. The best part of that is it means you need less and you will create more. Hi, nice to meet you. Any point of entry. And the focus for me is the freedom piece. And remember those different phases of freedom and your blueprint for freedom, your season of freedom, your appetite of what that looks like is going to look different to mine. But the focus is around, can we ensure that we are actually scaling scalable spaces in your offer flow? And not just the things that require more of you, because at some point you tap out and then you stop having the time to actually continue to grow your business. So this is the principle of a feminine freedom funnel. So freedom funnels are not a step-by-step, step 1, step 2, step 3 in the traditional funnel sense, the ABC buying journey. They are a conversion ecosystem built for every premium buyer type. Now, the reason why I say every premium buyer type is it's likely right now that you're selling to just one of the premium buyer types. Different premium buyers move in different ways. They buy with different things. Some people are more analytical. How many of you here loathe the sales page? Tell me in the comments. How many of you here loathe sales pages and you're like, I hate when I have to buy from a sales page. Just take me to the checkout. How many of you here actually love a sales page because you're like, I actually really like to see everything laid out, especially for particular offers, like bigger investment things. Some of you are going to be more analytical. Some of you are going to be more, I trust my instinct and I just buy from my gut. There's nothing better or worse about those different buyer types. But if you're only designing your funnels for people that hate sales pages, you're losing out on the trust building opportunity. Because guess what? Even though I am not a big fan of buying from sales pages, it doesn't repel me from buying. I know how to click the button and go to the checkout. So when people tell you that you don't need a sales page, you don't. Of course, you can create conversion without them, but how can you possibly quantify how much conversion you're missing if you don't have them? Because for every buyer that buys without them, there is a buyer that buys through a sales page. So this is where we're really looking at this as an ecosystem of assets that built for that $1 million buyer and the specific ways that she buys or they buy. So the real problem with traditional funnels is not the funnel itself. It's actually not the principle of the funnel. It's who it's built for, because who it's built for then determines the strategy of the sales strategy that we implement. So is it any wonder that traditional bro funnels use such push strategy when you think about how focused they are on people at the beginning of their journey? like selling you on the concept, convincing you on the concept of whatever it may be. It's very much around convincing and pushing you into the funnel and into the conversion using hype and FOMO driven sales strategies. Whereas if you actually speak to $1 million buyer who is deeper in her buying journey or in their buying journey, they will require no convincing because they're already convinced in what's possible for them. For those of you that find yourself trying to tell your audience, this is possible. For a long time, one of my taglines, and it was in the year I had a $2.4 million year, by the way, was if I can, you can, which is super cute on paper. And the sentiment was really pure. I genuinely believed that. I was like, but if I can do it, she can do it. The problem with that was, who is that actually speaking to? If you're here, it's likely that you don't need convincing. You watch me and you're like, I know. I know I can. I see you as the evidence. Now I want to know how. You're already sold on yourself, on your potentiality, on the possibility. Of course, my job is to build further trust in the fact of that possibility. But the reality is, you don't need me to tell you that if I can, you can. You're already sold on what you want. You're already sold on the things that you know you were put here to experience. So be really careful in your language who you're actually speaking to. Am I convincing and attracting people that need convincing and motivating? Because guess how they're going to feel to work with? If you focus only on the people that are at the beginning stages of their journey and whatever it is that you do, it's likely that you'll slow down your conversions and attract buyers who aren't ready. And so guess what happens? Raise your hand if you ever have felt like you have convinced someone to come into your offer. Hi, my name is Leanne. Has that person, once they entered your offer, did they feel light as a feather to work with? Or did it suddenly feel like heavy and that you were responsible because you were the one that was like, yeah, of course, I can absolutely support you with that. It's going to definitely help you. The reason why people with so many questions are a red flag is not their questions. It's that if they are not already sold, the level of questions and the type of questions is generally indicative of whether or not they are convinced that it's the right space. And my answer to those people is I am not going anywhere, and nor are my offers. So if this doesn't feel like a fuck yes for you, don't buy. And of course, it's easy to say that in my ivory tower of $1 million months. I see you. But there is a reality behind the fact that the people you bring in will dictate how you feel about how exceptional you are about your work. And if you are not ruthless with that now, it's very difficult to correct that. Moreover, you will find yourself filling your offers with people who are not aligned, and then you won't desire to speak to your $1 million client because you would be embarrassed for them to join your spaces when they see who is in your world, when they see the types of questions people ask. This is why messaging is your number one skill that you need to master in your business, because it is the difference between you making good money from okay people and you making fuck you money from the type of people that light your soul on fire. I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of the latter. Now, the feminine freedom funnel model is about that entry point being for $1 million clients only. So we don't do broke buyers. I'm not interested in convincing you to buy from me. If you're not convinced, don't buy. $1 million clients are the people. Don't let the $1 million client piece trip you up. It's designed to do that. It's designed to disrupt you and the way you're thinking about your ideal client. Because when you just say ideal client, where do you feel that in your body? Does that feel activating to you? Or is it the most overused phrase on the internet, like personal power? $1 million clients are not anything to do with how much money they have in the bank or how much they're willing to spend. They're not anything to do with how much money that person is earning. My $1 million client, I could care less. And you will look at my content. When do you find me speaking to your income level? When do you hear me say, you're at 30K months? You're at 50K months? I never use those words. The $1 million client messaging has nothing to do with exactly the income level someone's at, how much money they have, and everything to do with, are they already in a place that they are good and they're looking for great, that they're at illogical and looking for delusional. It might not be in the area that you support with, but $1 million clients aren't in victim mode complaining about how hard it is and how easy it is for everybody else, or how they've hired all these people and nothing has worked. They are absolutely the type of clients who come in and are like, you know what? I've done these things and it didn't work out for me. And I realized that that thing I invested in was probably not for me at that right point. I probably wasn't ready for that, but this is what I want. I realized that I've been building the wrong system. They are people that have all of the characteristics of doing the work, but they also likely, I would challenge you to think about whoever you are currently speaking to, is that the only person at that part of their journey that you could actually help? Because 9 times out of 10, you are waiting for when in order to serve people that are more advanced. When your work would actually blow the socks off somebody that is way further ahead in their journey. Many of you are making your current income level, follow account, house that you live in, whatever, you're making it mean that you can only serve people who are here, when that actually has nothing to do with the work that you do. Like, why do those two things correlate? Now, of course, you have to have embodied your work. So you can't be out here selling people stuff that you've not done and you don't know how, and you've not done even for yourself, but most importantly, that you've not done to help even other people do. It actually is far more impressive to see the work that we do for other people than just ourselves. Me making a shit ton of money, let's keep it real. It tells you I'm really good at marketing for me. What actually makes me exceptional, what actually makes me impressive, is the vast number of women who have experienced life-altering results from my work, whose businesses and lives I have changed. That's what's exceptional about me. Me being good at marketing for me is great. And of course, that's embodiment. Of course, my results matter. But my clients who are achieving $1 million months, 500K months, 100K consistent months without being their sales system, that's what you should actually care about. And no, not just business coaches. You being exceptional at what you do and help other people with has nothing to do with anything about your follow account or the metrics, and everything to do about your fucking certainty that you can get somebody that result. And even if you're not certain that you can guarantee it, none of us can. I am certain in one thing, and I'm also certain that you are certain in this. Are you certain that you will do everything on your side of the street to ensure that you show up for your people and that you pay attention and you notice where they're stuck and you create a training or a resource? That you are going to do everything on your side of the street, because you cannot do the work for people, but you can design your offers to get people the most insane results when you are committed, but they have to be committed too. And in evergreen offers, in instant access stuff where I am never going to be there to give you the direct feedback, Leanne AI was born from that. If I can't tweak someone's messaging for them, how do I ensure that there is a tool available that is as close to me as possible that can help them with that? Do I believe I can do everything on my side of the street to support people to get the best result? Yes. Then you bet your ass I am going to show up with more audacity than a middle-aged white man. And you should too. Because when we are showing up in the online space as women, we're often really apologetic about taking up space. We're not showing up with the audacity and the conviction that magnetizes $1 million clients. And if you don't believe in you, how do you expect me to buy from you? Conviction is part of your authority. And when you learn how to infuse your funnel with that authority and conviction based messaging that is about your $1 million client and the work that your work helps them solve, problems that it solves, and the experiences it helps them to create, it's effortless to attract the right people. So let's talk a bit more about this. When I told you yesterday that $1 million clients don't buy results, they already have results. They buy solutions to their highest value problems. Many of you say, what is the difference? I'm not entirely sure on what the difference is between a results-driven marketing and the pull and push messaging that you were talking about yesterday. So who is excited to dig more into this topic? Because I know many of you had a bunch of questions about this. Let's talk about this. The reason that freedom funnels convert, as you know, and my funnels convert at 12 to 25%. We're not talking about 1% or 0.01% or 1 to 3% if you're lucky. This is nothing to do with the templates, the platforms, or the tech, everything to do with the messaging. So again, anchoring you back into the truth that the mechanism that attracts and converts your $1 million client, your funnel is the system, your messaging is what actually converts them. Now, this is why your ads and email sequences and your content will convert and your DM automations will convert. When you master this, you create that instant trust and instant demand, and you collapse time around how quickly people buy from you. So the right message in this ecosystem, many of you have an ecosystem right now, you have a sales system of some description. But if you're not converting people as effortlessly or as quickly as you desire to, it's because of the types of messaging that you're using. Now, when you do this, what's going to be incredible for all of you is when you start to see only $1 million clients coming in through your top of funnel, you will also start to see how much more money those people spend than just volume-based approach. So your investment per customer and the amount of money that people spend and the lifetime value of each of those customers is going to skyrocket. And that is the thing that means that you can have less of an audience size and more conversion and therefore more sales. And then those people retain. Your retention rates increase. Guess what? When you talk to $1 million clients and you're audacious in your messaging, when you speak to them and they hire you, they get better results, and then your conviction increases, and then your client testimonials increase. It's like, it's in your best interest to do this. But let's talk a little bit more about some different examples by different niches. Now, I want to be really clear. Pull and push messaging in your funnels is more than we're going to be able to cover today. This is just speaking to the type of messaging that would be positioned around a client testimonial lens. Because we're talking about client testimonials, let's talk about the push-pull messaging examples through a client testimonial lens. So this is the type of messaging that you'll do organically to bring people in and also within your funnel. Now, of course, we spoke a little bit about my business yesterday, but let's talk a little bit more about business and messaging coaches, that type of industry, to show you again in a bit more detail a result-driven messaging that's going to pull in likely broke buyers would be, I help my client grow from 5K to 20K months in 90 days. Generic, you're not qualifying somebody in that statement because guess what? You're just talking to somebody that's interested in the money. Broke buyers care about the 5 to 20K months in 90 days. $1 million clients care about the specificity of that sentence. So the lack of specificity is actually what would call in a broke buyer versus $1 million client. So the $1 million clients care about what problem did you solve to take that person from 5K to 20K months in 90 days. Your $1 million buyer cares about how did the money come for that person? Because if you just taught them to do more sales calls, I don't actually want to do that. So your $1 million clients care specifically about what problem you solved and how the money came, not the actual money itself. So the pull, a repositioning of that type of result-driven marketing, the pull would be really focusing on what the $1 million client's highest value problems were and the high value experiences that this work created. So instead, you would speak to, she went from ideal client saying, I need to think about it, after 3 days in the DMs, to I'm in messages straight from her content. Her sales strategy didn't change, her messaging did. Can you feel the difference between I help my client go from 5K to 20K months in 90 days and who that would potentially speak to versus the tonality and the elevation immediately of the micro specific thing that someone that is that person's $1 million client. If you talk about 5K months to 20K months in 90 days, you can attract a lot of people at zero that have never touched anything close to 5K, aren't even having qualified conversations with people that would buy from them. If you speak to people that are in the DMs, they've got people reaching out to them, likely even maybe the right people, but they are after 3 days of back and forth in the DM saying, I need to think about it, maybe next time. What do they desire? Their highest value problem is I feel like I constantly have to like push people over the finish line. And then even a percentage of those people don't even go on to buy. Their problem is that they are desiring people to buy straight from their content. The high value experience they're desiring is that people buy straight from their content without even having to have a conversation with them. Notice here too, this sentence around her sales strategy didn't change. I didn't make her overhaul her entire sales strategy. I simply shifted her messaging. It goes back to what we were talking about yesterday around the fact that $1 million clients don't actually desire like 360 heavy lifting transformation. We want to know that it's closer than we thought. So when we go into the push piece of the marketing, of the messaging, this is about the specificity and the permission for her. It wasn't a total rebrand. It wasn't a brand new sales system. It was one simple messaging shift that made her the only option for buyers ready to move now. She stopped posting activation content that only activated conversations and started posting the one type of content that moves ideal clients to buy without a single sales conversation. Now, why this works from a pull and push perspective is the fact that it anchors in the visible high value problem that she is experiencing on a day-to-day basis. The conversation she's having for 3 days in the DMs is a high value problem that is showing up for her on a day-to-day basis. Not just wanting to make more money, not just wanting to convert more of her audience. It shows that it was a simple shift, not an overhaul. And it mirrors the specific high value experience that she desires. Now, the final sentence here is the biggest part why the push element of this messaging works so well. Because it showcases unique, specific insight, leveraging, in this case, curiosity. What I mean by that is this sentence here. Many of you are good at pull content. We spoke about this yesterday. Many of you are doing a little bit of this. Most of you are not doing this. Now, I'm making up these examples, but can you see here how when we start talking about a commonly taught topic of activation content, suddenly we start positioning what's happening when you use activation content is you're activating conversations. Whereas what you actually need is this type of content that moves ideal clients to buy without a single sales conversation. You're leaned in like, what is it? Oh my God, you're right. I'm doing loads of activational content because I was told that's what I should do to attract ideal clients. Now they know that it's part of their problem and it's why they're experiencing what they're experiencing. And now the solution is you. So this is just one example. Now let's use a completely different niche. Wellness and nervous system. Result-driven marketing for that type of niche that would attract potentially a broke buyer would be more like reset your nervous system and feel peaceful naturally. Reset your nervous system and feel like more peaceful and more grounded in your business. It's very generalized. There's no real mirror. Like, no one's saying that. No one's coming to you and saying, I really want to reset my nervous system so I can feel peaceful more naturally. That's not how we speak. It's also not actually speaking to the real cost of the dysregulation that your $1 million client is likely experiencing and how it's showing up for her in the day to day. So the problem with this type of messaging, with generalized messaging, is you're not actually speaking to the symptom, how it's showing up for her. You're talking to what you know is the problem, her nervous system, and what you think that she desires. Well, she just wants to feel more peaceful. Like, that's not what anyone asks for when they hire you. Where do they currently not feel peaceful? How is it actually showing up for them on a day-to-day basis? That's where you find their highest value problems. If you take nothing else from today, write down right now, the highest value problems of your $1 million client are found in how it is showing up for her daily. Not her content is the problem. What happens as a result of her not posting the type of content you teach? Not her nervous system. What happens when her nervous system is dysregulated or is doing the thing that you solve in your work? How does that actually show up for her on a daily basis? So $1 million clients don't talk how many of you are actually currently speaking, and especially how those of you speak in funnels. Many of you in funnels speak like corporate Colin, and no one wants to buy from corporate Colin. There's a reason why corporate Colin isn't in sales. And if he's selling anything, he's probably selling typewriters like this laptop box that we're currently using for this live. Now, when we switch up this messaging and we talk about pull versus push marketing and messaging, we would shift to be talking about, this client didn't need another meditation or breathwork playlist before she started her day. Specific. She's already done these things. She's already got the playlist. She's done the freaking meditation. She's got a library full of breathwork exercises. They all create a temporary shift for her. She's already done some of the work. She needed the tool that showed her exactly where her nervous system survival switches truly were and how to instantly turn them off before they activated her programmed fight or flight response. For those of you in a space where you feel like your work is less tangible, it's hard for me to message like you because I'm not a business coach. I'm in the healing space. I'm in wellness. My results are different. It doesn't feel as tangible. Your biggest invitation, and one of the biggest things I do inside my office, is make sure that you learn how to make your work feel tangible. Can you see how here the language that has been used around survival switches in her nervous system, turning them off before they're activated and trigger her fight or flight? It takes an intangible concept of her nervous system and it gives you a visual. The switches give you a visual. There is a visceral response in your mind and in your body of you understand what a switch is and you understand turning things on and off. It immediately and instantly takes an intangible topic and makes it tangible. The push is the specificity and the permission. So this wasn't another elaborate healing protocol. She's not interested in another bloody protocol. She's done so much healing. Please don't ask me to do another protocol. It was the small shift that let her finally show up in her business without crashing after every launch or every client call. The reset wasn't about more rituals. It was about learning where and why her nervous system was triggered so she could control it before it controlled her. Now, again, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. I'm giving generic random examples of, like, if you're helping a female entrepreneur with her nervous system and she's dysregulated, where is it showing up for her the most? Your example of without it crashing after spending time with her kids. Fill in the blank as to who you help. The point here is not about this piece. It's about the specificity of the example. How is the symptom showing up for her daily? And again, why it works speaks to her highest value problem, the dysregulation that's costing her in her day-to-day life. In her business, it's likely sales. In her relationships, it's likely intimacy, presence with her kids. It's costing her her energy. It anchors in the high value experience that she desires, which is actually the consistency and sustainability of results without that constant feeling of up, high highs, low lows, without the cost that she's currently experiencing and how that's showing up for her daily. It feels, thanks to this section, not an elaborate, deep healing thing, a small shift. It feels precision based, laser focused just to her. It's really about the fact that it feels close and not like a deep healing overhaul. Is this landing for you? Tell me in the chat. And we're going to do one more. Okay, intimacy and relationship coach. This is a good one, good example. Improve your communication and reignite your connection. Snooze fest. Nobody talks like that. Generic, safe, does not mirror her identity that she's desiring or the high value problems that she's experiencing. It is not specific and it is not how she talks. It's not selling her the actual shift that she wants. So if you were to change this to pull and push, let's say we're talking to a high achieving woman. This client of mine, she led teams, she closed 20K deals, she led boardrooms full of men. She closed deals, she was her top performer in her company. And yet, she found herself unable to soften at home, living in her masculine and constantly leading him. The result, she felt more like his manager than his lover, and it was showing up for her everywhere, from their conversations in the kitchen to the bedroom. You see the difference in when you're talking to somebody really specific and exactly what they're experiencing great in one area of their life, but they also know over here doesn't mirror how amazing I am in the boardroom or at work in my corporate job or in my business. Suddenly, whilst you're talking to somebody that is struggling in their relationship, they're not in struggle in every area of their life. The push here is the specificity and permission. This wasn't about talking more. If it was, talk therapy would have worked by now, addressing something that they have already likely been doing or at least considered doing. Maybe they've even done therapy themselves and it hasn't moved the needle. It was about learning the tools that to listen to her body and lead from her feminine at home. She didn't need another sex date or a 30-minute pep talk before walking in the door. She needed to know how to tap into her masculine and feminine on demand, without the decompression lag. Do you see the specificity of this? Like she's like, yes, I don't want to sacrifice my masculine energy. It helps me in my business. It helps me at work. She doesn't relate to just being in her feminine. What she desires is actually like, tell me how I can like tap in and tap out without this like 30-minute decompression period between the two. So I don't have to sit in the car and like pep talk myself into soft, feminine, feminine, feminine. That's how it's showing up for her. It's mirroring what she's experiencing on a day-to-day basis. Her highest value problems, her high value experiences that she desires, what she's already likely done in the form of talk therapy and why it didn't work for her. And it makes the shift feel close and emotionally safe. This is just one example of internal buying trigger messaging that many of you have heard me talk about. That is the pull push. That's what activates those internal buying triggers of $1 million clients. It's what compounds trust and creates instant demand for your offers, whether someone is cold or warm. I would love to know in the chat what landed for you from those examples. How are you feeling now about pull and push content? The messaging that shifts and moves the needle for those $1 million clients, whether it be in your organic content or in your funnels. Now, I want to quickly share with you the 4 layers of this feminine freedom funnel. You've really started to see that it's an ecosystem, and we've already started to cover the vast majority of these pieces. Now, that top of funnel is that $1 million client generation system. You have to have a way, regardless of whether it's social media or some sort of paid traffic top of funnel, podcast, YouTube channel, you have to have a way for $1 million clients to find you. What that is going to do is build authority and attraction before they hit the rest of your funnel. So whether they come from Instagram or a paid ad, as you saw yesterday, so many of you came from a paid ad of mine. You didn't even know who I was. Some of you weren't even following me on Instagram. This layers the decision making for those ready to buy buyers, $1 million clients, not the lurkers. Now, I want to quickly show you a great example of this workshop. We ran paid traffic to this workshop. Now, a big percentage, 90% of my funnels are evergreen funnels. We're going to come on to that in a second. There are instant access offers that I don't even organically promote. Top of funnel offers. In this example, because it's a live taught 2-day delivery, I did organic promotion of this masterclass, and we also ran paid traffic. What I want you to see here is just 2 of the creatives that we ran for this particular workshop. I want you to see the conversion rates. So ROAS, for any of you that don't know, ROAS is return on your ad spend. Now, what I also want you to note is that these figures, look how much we've spent. We're not spending, and this is not just the only money that we've spent. So for context, Rich Queen spends a total ad spend every month, $50K per month, which please put into the context of $1 million months. $50,000 a month, we do consistent $1 million months. Look at the return and the purchase value and the return on ad spend from what we're spending. 14 times return, 8 times return, the purchase value over $5,000 from people coming in, and many of you already quickly started buying everything else. What you need to know is that organic traffic is not free. Like you're not creating free content. You are costing yourself the time. How much time do you spend every week creating content? How much is your time worth every hour? Because that's how much your organic content is costing you. The biggest difference between paid and organic content is that paid traffic is highly targeted. So unlike social media, where you feel like sometimes you're screaming into the abyss, paid traffic, you literally select your audience and that's who that ad goes to. So currently, organically, only 1 to 3% of your audience is actually seeing your content. This is why so many of you get so frustrated that you have an audience of 5,000 people, but you have 50 people watching your stories. They're just not seeing your content. Now, the push focused content that we're talking about, of course, can create higher levels of attraction on your organic marketing. But the reality is the algorithm, and we all know it, is kind of like a toxic man and you can't figure him out from week to week. Like, what do you want? I don't know what you want this week. What do you need from me today? That's what the algorithm often feels like to many of us. It switches up, it changes, there's a constant evolution. And it's not that paid traffic doesn't change, but paid traffic is actually very simple. You can ensure that your $1 million client are seeing your ad and then seeing the next thing much more effortlessly. So this is just one example. Now, like I said, organic marketing in 2025, it's not as easy to be seen as it used to be. And ideal client magnets and top of funnel opt-ins are essential when it comes to creating conversion into your signature offers and the rest of your offer flow. But if no one's seeing them, people can't buy from you or come into even your top of funnel. So running some sort of low cost paid traffic is one of the smartest things that you can do. For context, not only have we had over 1,000 people sign up for this workshop, my Instagram grew by over 1,000 people. There is a halo effect of ads around. We see a huge uplift in all different sales pathways because Freedom Funnels are an ecosystem and not a one go here, go here, go here. So many of you have already started to go through that ecosystem. The reality is you don't need more followers, you need more visibility in front of the right buyer. And no, you do not need to hire an ads agency to do this. We are so afraid of the tech side of running ads, but actually ads are more strategic. The back end is the simpler part, is the easier part. And once you understand what that is, it's very simple. Strategically is what you need to understand, and the messaging is what actually creates the conversion. Now, the architecture, as I've already told you, is designed around not that journey of ABC, but actually around your $1 million buyer logic. And you're all going to have different examples of that. But when your entire offer suite is designed only for the $1 million client, that is when you're going to find that you can thread together your offers. I can tell all of you here about Leanne AI. I can tell all of you here about Freedom Funnels. I can tell all of you here about the Inner Circle. And all of those offers are appropriate for you. You have the discernment to know which space would be best for you based on where you are in your journey. I don't need to push you into any which one of them. I can thread them together in the funnel and show you which one is best for you. So the architecture is what we already covered around how Freedom Funnels work as an ecosystem versus that client journey. The invisible system is so important because the behind the scenes system is what's selling for you. So my evergreen funnels, and I'm going to show you a specific example to bring this to life, they are working when I am not. So whatever I do on social media is extra. So when people are coming in through my top of funnel, my behind the scenes sales system is selling for me. That invisible sales system is retargeting ads. It's email flows that nurture over time, not just sending 1 or 3 emails and then the end until I booty call you, wanting you to buy from me in 3 months' time. Your automations like ManyChat, smart, strategic-based emails that are based on segmented parts of your email list. Strategically embedded cross-sells and upsells. Now, we're going to show you an example of this. And I've told you already all about the $1 million buyer psychology. So I'm like a broken record. Your messaging is what creates that. So $1 million buying psychology, we've talked about this in so much detail around the positioning of your offer, mirroring how $1 million buyers think, what's showing up for them on a day-to-day basis, making sure that you're already talking to people that are ready to buy, not them that need convincing. Now, let me show you a case study of one of my top performing Freedom Funnels that has made millions and millions of dollars for Rich Queen. And it starts with a $22 top of funnel offer. $22. It's 222 right now. $22 offer. And it's created millions and millions of dollars. Now, this is with one evergreen funnel. Content that sells is a $22 instant access low ticket taster offer. I never promote it on my Instagram. The only place you can find it outside of an ad is in the Make Money Vault on my Rich Queen website. Content that sells is $22. The conversion tool is an evergreen ad. This is the ad, the copy. The click to purchase for this ad, 13%. It's a $22 offer. The ROAS on every single ad we run, minimum ROAS. A low ROAS for us is 3 to 4. Most of our return on ad spends are 8 to 12%. Now, this particular ad, the performance is 13, sorry, it shouldn't be percent, it should be 13 ROAS. So 13 times return on ad spend from this particular ad that we're running. Now, I want to make a note. I've updated this product, this offer, the actual instant access content once in the last year. So it's had one update, the actual top of funnel offer itself. Now, the offer that this leads you to is my signature messaging program, She Makes Bank. Makes sense, right? It's a low ticket taster about content that sells. Of course, the next logical step for you is like, do you want access to all the different content frameworks that are going to teach you how to do this? This is a low ticket taster. This is the full thing. Now, She Makes Bank sells between 2,500 and 3,000, depending on whether I'm running a promotion or not. Behind the scenes in this funnel, the other offer pathways that are available that create a massive level of conversion are the 7-figure authority framework, also $22. That is the order bump. So when you go to checkout, you buy content that sells for $22, you can add the 7-figure authority framework. We generally have between 35 to 60% conversion of our order bumps. So a $22 purchase becomes a $44 purchase. You then get taken to a one-time upsell for $397. Notice how it's not 22 and then 22 and then 47 and then 97. That it's about buyer logic. It has nothing to do with price point. There is also a downsell within this funnel for 222 called the Yes Method, which is one of our highest performing lower ticket, low kind of mid ticket offers. Now, I wanted to show you this because this is the ecosystem at a glance. The invisible sales system, so the top of funnel is this, we're running a couple of ads to this offer. The invisible sales system then takes over. We run an automated email sequence that leads people into She Makes Bank with a retargeting ad copy. When we retarget to She Makes Bank, this is just one example of when we're running a promotion. And even when we're not running a promotion, we still can retarget and have people sign up. 36.56 return on ad spend. So we run people into a sequence, 25% of those $22 buyers convert. 25% convert. I also want to make it clear that the last time I did a masterclass to sell She Makes Bank, the last time I did anything live for She Makes Bank was over 12 months ago. And it is my highest performing offer. Freedom Funnels is my next highest performer. The ROAS for our retargeting ad spend is 36.56. The back-end offer that you then can also buy at the same time within that email sequence, do you want She Makes Bank? Or do you want to come into the inner circle and get She Makes Bank, Freedom Funnels, plus all of the weekly coaching and support from me and Team Rich Queen? This is the retargeting ad for that, 24 times the return on ad spend. This offer is $2,500. This is $15,000 for context. So the back end offer, when you buy She Makes Bank, you get 30 days to redeem your purchase toward the inner circle. So with that 30-day email sequence and a retargeting ad, now we have 10 to 15% of the She Makes Bank buyers upgrading to the inner circle. The additional offers from She Makes Bank buyers that come in, they convert at a further 25% into all of my different offers. So this freedom funnel is really simple, threads together my signature spaces, only one of which actually includes any access to me whatsoever, and creates millions and millions of dollars. The lifetime value of the people we bring in is from stacking trust and sales, not from the fact that we bring in thousands of people. It's that we bring in people and they spend more. Look at these numbers, they spend more. Now, what you need to know is I did not have all of the layers built when I launched She Makes Bank. In fact, fun fact, I delivered She Makes Bank live for the first time in January of 2024. I added the strategic layers of the funnel as I moved versus trying to build it all at once. It was still my top performing funnel and had sky high conversion without the additional layers that we've added around. I had a sequence that went from content that sells to She Makes Bank, but then I didn't have a sequence that brought them to the inner circle. So then I added that. I didn't have a sequence that then downsold people. So then I added that. We got our retargeting ads up and running and noticed a huge uplift. Fun fact, we spend around 40% of our ad budget on retargeting ads because it's not just about more people. It's about making the people that are buying from us want to buy more from us and keeping us top of mind. I also didn't have Leanne AI when I built this freedom funnel, so it took me 10 times longer than it would have and than it does now. You could have a one freedom funnel generating 7 figures per year with a very small audience. For context, I hit my first $1 million month with 14,000 followers. 14,000. And I started with $5,000 per month in ad spend, and I built one funnel at a time. Now we have women inside the inner circle where we offer ad support. My incredible ads manager, Nicole, who has the most incredible boutique ads agency. We have worked together as she knew my brand, was familiar with my brand. We have strategically partnered to bring ad support to more women in our industry because it's the area that we don't dominate when we should. Ads are built for women. It's a passive income system, and we sell really good shit. You need more people to know about it. Nicole directly supports the women inside the inner circle with their ads. They don't have to hire an ads agency. They also don't have to spend anything like $5,000 a month. Even putting a small budget, and you saw it here, even putting a small budget, wherever it was, where I showed you the first ads, the ads that we use for the Freedom Funnels workshop, for this workshop, I'm going to find them to show you. Look at this spend, $373 to get 14 times that back. Are you kidding me? And you don't want to run ads? Do you want to run ads now? Because it makes me want to run some more ads. This is only possible, and people have a shit experience of ads. I had a terrible experience of ads. I ran ads too early in my business under poor advice, without speaking to $1 million client, without really knowing who I was here to serve, without really having a proven offer and proven demand. And I set a lot of money on fire. But the reality is, you can actually spend very little and create a lot and get in front of more people, and then thankfully show up less on social media and still be visible all the time. So many people in my world, the halo effect when I started running ads was actually not just about new clients coming in. It was about the people in my world started buying more and more and more from me. There was a halo effect. So this gets to be so simple. Over 70% of my business revenue comes from 4 core offers, and 3 of them run completely without me. Me adding in live support is completely optional, and they convert at scale, and they convert into one another, and they convert on an ongoing basis and create massive reoccurring revenue that stacks every single month. We have over nearly $500,000 in reoccurring revenue most months, between 350 on a really low month and 500K. What does that feel like in your nervous system? That's what happens when you have a system that's working harder than you. So this is the power of Freedom Funnels. This is the power of funnels that are built in rich buyer psychology. They're built with trust, with demand for $1 million clients only. They're designed to work without me being the system. And this is what happens when you stop building funnels from generic bro templates and you start building them from the actual $1 million buying psychology and messaging that converts them. Because it's not actually the funnel structure, it's the strategy and the messaging underneath it. It's the buyer logic and the messaging that you use to convert them. How many of you can see now how you have the assets that you need to build your freedom funnel? How many of you just in that one example can see, actually, it's not as far as I thought. Actually, ads maybe are a good idea. If I was making money from my email sequences, or I knew the strategy or the messaging to attract the right people and convert them, that I would actually want to be doing these things in my business. I want to invite you to build your freedom funnel, whether that be with me or that you simply leave this workshop and build it. Please, if you came and you're watching this, do something with this. Make this be the best $11 that you have ever freaking spent in your entire life, and go and at least shift your messaging. Go and start thinking about this. But if you want to build this with me, for the first time in over a year, I originally delivered Freedom Funnels over a year ago. A lot has changed since then. Over $22 million has come in since then. I have worked with some of the biggest names in the industry and really understood and learned funnels in a way that some days blows my own mind. This is my love language. And as a result, I've decided, rather than just adding some new trainings, I'm completely redoing this program. Freedom Funnels 2.0 is officially open. And for the first time in a year, I am doing 6 live workshops. I rarely ever do anything live inside my office. They are 70% evergreen. The inner circle is one of the only places outside of my high-level coaching that you get my eyes on your business. I am doing 6 live funnel lab workshops, and my team are doing it with me. The team who execute these funnels, whether it be Nicole and her incredible ads genius, or Alejandra and the systems and support, Kate and her phenomenal copy and design elements that increases conversion. I have the best team of humans out there. that support the women inside the inner circle. And now we want to support you in building your freedom funnel. So when you purchase Freedom Funnels 2.0, you are going to get 6 live funnel lab workshops with me and Team Rich Queen. We never do this. This is our eyes on your funnel. This has been designed so that you literally build your funnels over the 6 weeks. You build at least one of your freedom funnels in those 6 weeks with us. Let's save you the heartache of building a funnel that doesn't convert. And let's actually show you how to build it for your $1 million client and your $1 million biologic in these 6 weeks together. So that by Q4, which by the way is the biggest sales period for any business, you can create so many passive income sales. This Christmas better be the Christmas that you're sat in your pajamas, taking a week off, 2 weeks off, celebrating with your family while Stripe notifications fill your goddamn phone screen. There is a brand new program dropping, and we begin dropping that program from the 28th of this month. Freedom Funnels 2.0 is coming. You are going to get a brand new $1 million client generator module. We're going to show you all of the paid and organic visibility strategies that will attract and fill your funnel with only $1 million clients. So if you're struggling with top of funnel attraction, we've got you covered. You're also going to get 3 months of Leanne AI. So normally Leanne AI is $397 a month. You get 3 months included with your purchase. This means that you're going to be able to build funnels in record time with an AI that's actually designed and programmed with everything that I've taught you over these last 2 days. You don't have to try and teach her what this means. She already knows. When you pay in full, you're getting something that currently only really my mastermind and one-on-one clients get, which is a funnel audit. So once you've built that funnel with us, we're going to audit it. And we're going to show you the tweaks and the shifts to make to 10x your conversion from your funnel. We're going to show you exactly what we would change in order for your freedom funnel to convert as highly and as quickly as possible. This is the first time in a long time that I have offered live support like this inside any of my programs, but especially freedom funnels. So if you're ready to design your freedom funnel with us, build your $1 million buyer trust and demand stack, this pull push messaging, I'm going to be teaching you how to do this for your niche, for your ideal client. That's what the workshops are for. You're going to watch the trainings, you're going to do the work, you're going to come to the workshop, and my eyes on your stuff. This is not me just teaching and talking at you. This is show me your work and let me reflect back to you where you are still not doing pull and push. We're going to show you how to scale with organic, with paid, or with both without a crazy investment. Myself and Nicole are going to do a workshop really showing you how to do low-cost paid ads that are going to fill that top of funnel, and all of our secret strategies for the types of ROAS that you've seen in this workshop. We're going to show you exactly what our top performing copy and creatives are and why they are so high performing. And this weekend only, we decided that we wanted to do something a little bit crazy. So when you sign up for the Freedom Funnels or the Inner Circle, because the Inner Circle is 12 months with us, and when you join the Inner Circle, you get a $10,000 high-touch mastermind to build your Freedom Funnels. The team are going to be sharing the links. You can find out details on the website of every single one of these offers, and you can email support@richqueen.com if you want to learn more. But if you join this weekend and you join the Inner Circle or Freedom Funnels, on the payment plan or pay in full, knowing that when you pay in full, you're going to get a funnel audit, you're also going to receive a $2,500 $1 million client audit. Now, the reason why me and the team want to do this is because, as you can see from everything we've covered with you over the last 2 days, if your $1 million client is not right, if the specificity and what their current high value problems are and how they're showing up for them on a daily basis is not correct, if you don't really truly understand that $1 million client and what high value experiences that they truly desire, it's really difficult to attract them and convert them. If you get that right, everything else you do is 100 times easier and converts 100 times faster. And we're so dedicated that we have decided, we hadn't even planned to do this, but based on the last 2 days, we were like, you know what? Let's have women not just coming into this and building their funnels, but let's have them coming in and building $1 million funnels. Like, let's have women blowing up and actually stepping into their soft girl season with us in a way that is going to revolutionize the way women do business in this industry. This is going to instantly shift your current visible content, your organic sales system, and your messaging. So even if you make sales from the funnel, you're going to probably see an instant increase in sales through just your social media or however you're currently actively selling, because messaging creates conversion. So if you sign up before Sunday at midnight, you'll be eligible for this bonus regardless of whether you pay in full or you pay on the payment plan. If you want to know which offer is right for you, if you've got questions, please reach out to the team at support@richqueen.com. Please check out the website, richqueen.com, and you're going to see all of the offers there and all of your options. It's very simple. There are signature ways to work with me. But if you want to learn the messaging, the funnels, the system, this is such an incredible way to do that. And leveraging the momentum of doing this live, dedicating yourself to building this funnel with us over that 6-week period, that's going to change and move the needle massively. The accountability that comes with this is huge, and we are so excited to support you. I have so many things to say about these last 2 days. Thank you so much to those of you that have been here live. I have loved every second of being able to pour into you. I would love to know what your biggest takeaways are. Please share them in the chat. Please share them on social media. My love language is hearing from the women who have been inside my offers and hearing what has landed for you, what has shifted for you. Please take the time to really watch these back. Anchor into the things that you know you probably needed to hear and the things that maybe you didn't even need to hear the first time, but now you're hearing it when you watch the replay. We will, of course, be sending the replay today alongside the email, which contains all of the information about how you can join Freedom Funnels and join us inside this incredible feminine business revolution. But thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope you have the most incredible rest of your week and a beautiful weekend. And I'm going to see you in all the different spaces. Bye.